Hey there, I'm Steve, and welcome to Jamson Entertainment. And welcome to the conversation. Just before we get started, there are many ways you can help. You can like and subscribe so you never miss a conversation. But most importantly, please share this video. Get the word out there as a community. We can talk about all the things that we love. Today on Throwback Thursday, we're looking at Deadpool 2. In addition to the cast in the last one, this is also starring Josh Brolin, Julian Dennison, Zazie Beetz, Karan Sonai, sorry for mispronouncing your name, Eddie Marsan, Shioli Kutsuna, sorry for mispronouncing your name, Rob Delaney, Louis Tan, Bill Skarsgård, Terry Crews, and Brad Pitt, who has the shortest cameo ever, literally. So as the formula goes for these movies, this one starts about quarter of the way through and Wade/Deadpool is trying to kill himself because Vanessa is dead. And that's because Wade is a gun for hire who takes out other bad guys. This time he just doesn't rough them up and make sure they don't do it again. No, he kills them so they don't do it again. He missed one, and that guy found out where Deadpool lives, ambushed him, and unfortunately Vanessa lost her life in the skirmish. And so for the first 20 minutes of the movie, give or take, Deadpool is trying to off himself. His last method was quite unique, and you would think it would be effective, but it's not, because Colossus comes by, literally picks up the pieces, and brings him to the X-Men mansion, where he will become an X-Men trainee. It's a recurring joke in the movie. His first assignment is trying to stop this one kid who's named Russell, but calls himself Fire Fist because he can shoot fire from his hands. He's causing a ruckus at this orphanage that is a horrible place for children in general. But this one is horrible because it's ran by a hypocrite that thinks he has the power over others, especially mutants, because he's a human and he hates mutants and he's just a horrible person. Russell wants to kill him. This fast forwards to Cable, who is in the future, who lost his family because Russell, after he kills the headmaster in a certain timeline, just becomes a serial killer. And he ultimately kills Cable's family. Cable goes back in time to prevent this. This is basically Terminator 2, except the Terminator is one and the same person in this case. He came back to kill Russell, but ultimately, well, I mean, he doesn't save Russell, but it's Terminator 2, kinda. That's what a lot of people were referring to this movie as when it first came out. There are segments where he reaches like the threshold of death, but he's not actually dead, and he can see Vanessa, and he can't get to her because he's not actually dead, because he can't die because of his healing factor, and she gives him cryptic messages of how he could possibly do good in the world. And so that's his mission, and also getting Vanessa back, but that's much later. Again, as the formula goes, a whole bunch of shenanigans and hilarity ensues. He gets a team together, the whole montage of interviewing them, and then the actual mission they go on is funny and awesome at the same time. I've heard of the character Domino, probably mostly because of this movie, that some buzz generated around the character, and people, I guess, were speculating who was going to play her. It's Zazie Beetz, and she does an amazing job. And during her interview, she says her power is luck, and Deadpool's like, that's not a superpower, it's so fake. And on the mission, Deadpool's like, use your fake superpower, which doesn't sound cinematic at all, while a huge cinematic scene is going on. It's just great. I love that part of the movie. It's probably my favorite part of the movie. But this movie is a whole lot of fun. And one thing I forgot to mention, and now this is the third movie, and I can say this about all the movies, despite them being comedies, they have some real heart to them. And the serious moments are taken really serious for the most part. Other parts of this movie that I really like is the opening credits. It's done differently each time. In this one, I didn't think of it when I first saw this in the theaters, but I thought of it this time. The opening credits is a Bond theme, sung by Celine Dion. It's not a Bond theme that they're using a Bond song. It's basically parodying the opening to Bond movies, and it's awesome. And so is the whole marketing behind that song. I'll see if I can find the video and I'll link it below. And I also love it, now they don't do it for every action, but at the beginning of one of his fight scenes, I think it's Dolly Parton's song 9 to 5 or Working 9 to 5, something like that. And I love it when movies match the actions to the beats in the song. It's always awesome when they do that. And speaking of action, again, this movie knocks it out of the park with action. Just phenomenal. And creative and funny. Now, since this is the third one I'm reviewing, and no one really knows if a fourth one's coming out, If I were to rank these movies, I would say this is my third favorite. I would say Deadpool and Wolverine are number one, then Deadpool, then Deadpool 2. Because this one drags a little bit, and there's one joke in here. I know it's making fun of other scenes such as this, but it goes on way too long. I'll just say it this way, and the people who have seen it probably know what I'm talking about. There's too many fake outs. This one scene has too many fake outs. Although, I do recommend this movie, and you have to get this on Blu-ray. Those are my thoughts on Deadpool 2. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and live your imagination.